American entrepreneurs who have built their federal contracting firms from scratch gathered to discuss where the industry is headed next at the Indian American Business Impact Group's IAMBIG GovCon 2025 summit, held October 15 in McLean, Virginia.
And hopefully next time I can spend some time today. You know, we have a party at home for Diwali, so I have to run. But my message to all of you is, if I can succeed, all of you can succeed. Look at the opportunity, build a differentiated business, and stay focused. And as I said before, if I can succeed, every one of you can succeed. Thank you.
IAMBIG members contribute significantly in the GovCon sector. This community has so much to celebrate. Here are a few stats that I would like to share. The combined revenue of IAMBIG members in the GovCon space exceeds $2 billion. Collectively, IAMBIG members generated over 10,000 employment in this space. The last 12 months, as we all know, have been very challenging. But we are proud to share the following metrics and stats for our IAMBIG members. These stats are for the last 1 year. The BPA awarded to IAMBIG members exceeded $5 million. Task orders awarded across all IAMBIG GovCon members exceeded $1.2 billion. Some of which we all know are under protest. But hey, it won't be GovCon without some healthy protest, right? We've also seen an increased collaboration with members teaming up to bid together and also to resolve protests. Several IAMBIG members have also formed mentor-protege partnerships, JVs, or are working towards one. Combined JV wins among IAMBIG members have exceeded over $600 million. These numbers don't just represent contracts, they represent innovation, resilience, and the strength of this community.
This government summit differs from the rest of the GovCon conferences that take place every day in this community. I think in GovCon, we not only talk about business, but we share in each other's successes and the lessons learned from each of our struggles. I heard Rocky say that in this difficult year with Doge and shutdown and everything, the IAMBIG members won $5 billion worth of new business. That's a tremendous achievement. Can we give all of us a big congratulations? I talked about my life journey to IAMBIG members about 2 months back. So when Sandesh told me I'll be speaking today, I really struggled with what I'm going to talk about since I already spoke everything I meant. So today I'm going to talk a little about the business journey of a team going from a small business, zero in revenue, to 250 billion, and what are the different things, something different that we might have done that helped us succeed. When I think of GovCon and a company starting out and then going to maturity, I think one way to think about it is 3 milestones. First is 0 to 30 million. Next is the small business to large business cliff. And then how do you sustain a large business and grow further? I think the activities that you do in each of these phases is different, but you have to plan all along for all the 3 phases. You can't be like, okay, I will become 30 million and then think about the small business to large business cliff. Or I'll become a large business and then think about how to sustain it. You have to think of it all along. And that's what I think we did at a team. Talk about some of the values. We came up with 7 of them. I know all companies have
having me, and I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about some interesting topics. I think some of the speakers ahead of me, I think laid the stage well. Manish talked about an R&D budget. Mr. Bajaj earlier talked about building a differentiated business. I'll hope to be touching on both of those topics today for you. Obviously, some shameless plug. I had the privilege of starting Stack Armor about 10 years ago. We built the company and successfully exited in May of this year. We are part of the Arlington Capital Partners family. But as I tell my kids, I was the CEO and owner, and I'm still the CEO, not the owner necessarily anymore. So yes, I'm still in the FedRAMP, CMC, and DFARS business. So in terms of really what we do, we are an engineering and compliance shop. We have about 50 plus customers. We do FedRAMP, CMC, and Prisma acceleration work. And really what I'm here to do today is talk to you about some relevant areas for GovCon that are centered on some new regs that are specifically DoD oriented. So in terms of really two things that I want to highlight for you as you're looking to build and grow your businesses is some of the other speakers touch upon it is of course CMMC, which I'll spend a lot of time on and try and share with you what exactly it is. But essentially, it's a cybersecurity requirement for anybody who is competing for DoD work, right? For those of you that might have followed it, there has been a lot of talk about it. It was supposed to happen a few years ago, but finally the shoe dropped, and now the clock has started ticking, and effective 10th of November, which is less than a month from now, you will start to see the CMC requirement show up in RFPs. Even more important than RFPs, you will start to see your prime contractors ask you for evidence of your CMC compliance. So anybody that is in the DoD space or is either bidding on a prime contract or a subcontract, you will have to go in and demonstrate this compliance. And we'll talk a little bit about that.
काम करते करते और बचाते थक गए हो? तारा कैपिटल का कहना है कि अभी आप जिंदगी में थोड़ा आराम करो और पैसों को काम करने दो। तारा कैपिटल एक रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट फर्म है जो बी क्लास और सी क्लास मल्टी फैमिली प्रॉपर्टीज को रिपोजिशन करती है। विजिट taracapital.com to participate in the next big real estate opportunity or call
Gopal Agarwal 281-827-8199।
आपने जिंदगी में बहुत काम किया है, अब आपके पैसों को काम करने दो। इन्वेस्ट इन रियल एस्टेट विद अ हाईली रेप्यूटेड member of our community.
Gopal Agarwal.
taracapital.com.
People and growing them is huge because they've been with us for years. They know our culture. We get along well, and that foundation helps you to be able to think strategically and think about what's next. So they can run HR, they can run UT, and you get involved when you need to, but you have that relationship and that trust. And then the second thing is, I think right now with AI, everyone's got to start thinking of how to get into that space, right? How do we become differentiators there? So for us, we have our innovation lab, we're building the products, we're showcasing them to different agencies, so that kind of thing, I think that's somewhere else that people should be thinking about.
Excellent. Amit, you want to go next?
I agree with that. I think that building the good team, especially leadership team, is your competitive advantage. Initially, it feels like we can do it all, but it is not scalable. We have to invest in people, we have to hire the right people, and when we say right people, the people who like to work as a team, because a well-functioning team is your competitive advantage. And that's why we have to invest into building, growing, and retaining the team. You have to create the right environment. I think that has been a big factor for my success. Second thing I would say is that when you are a small business, you have to watch out your back. You get screwed a lot from different places. What I mean by that, you will work with the primes, they will not give you work share. You will have teaming partners who will promise you something, they will not do it. You will have customers, sometimes because you're small, they want to take you for granted. So It is not about winning, but it is about maintaining and retaining the business. You have to watch your back. Don't get screwed, because when you're a small business, you get screwed a lot. So protect yourself.
Great life lesson.
Thanks, Priyank. I echo with what Cheryl and Amit said, but I have a few more ideas here. One is customer intimacy. We are in a business to serve our customers, so how we can generate the value within our customer, that should be always in your mind. You don't have to scale rapidly, but organically, if you are able to grow within the customer, identify what the gaps are, identify what the opportunities within your customer is, I think, key to your success and how you can grow rapidly. And that applies to, if I have to roll back 3 years for a small business like us, when we did not have much resources, I think customer which you have already one or two. So how you can identify opportunities within the customer so that it's less resources spent on your part, but more output. So that's I would say customer is one. Second thing I would say, as a small business, I know we do a lot of SWOT analysis when we identify an opportunity. We look at what are the strengths, how we can tap into the opportunity. I want to also talk about, do the SWOT analysis of your own company, right? So what are your strengths? What's your weakness? How you can overcome your weaknesses, whether it's the tools, whether it's the technology, whether it's the processes, people, whatever it is, how you can strengthen your company doing the SWOT analysis to make sure you are ready for the next steps. So I think those two things I will be with.
Sets your group apart in a competitive landscape in private equity. Greg, I'll start with you.
That could be like 15 minutes by itself. So I'll see if I can net this thing out. So Greg Baroni, founder and CEO of Attain Enterprises, and I got to give some shout outs here. First of all, my partner here for many years, Manish Agarwal. Manish and I have known each other, over 35 years. Back when we were a lot younger, we like to say we met each other when we were in elementary school. But he's followed me from KPMG to Unisys to the founding of this company that I'm referring to. I'll talk about it today. So there are a lot of KPMGers here. I found out Manisha was at KPMG. Manish, you're going to love this. She worked with Tom Richards.
Okay.
How did I feel about Tom Richards?
I don't go to Dallas anymore because of that.
So I said, ooh, okay. But there are a few also there are Unisys alum in here. How many of you Unisys alums? So I had the privilege of working with Sadiq over here, Prasant. I saw him. All of you have gone on to do better things since those days, which is kind of like what Manish and I did. And then 2009 we founded Attain. And we were blessed with the outcomes that we achieved. We initially focused in on the GovCon sector. And 11 and a half years in, we had a great exit of that business. Manish decided, because actually, interestingly, both him and I, we have a non-compete that expires here in about a few months. It's only taken 5 years to get there, but so expect to see us back. It's just a matter of time. But let me just see, I had a bunch of other questions there.
Highlight what sets your group apart in this competitive landscape.
So in the rebirth of Attain, we kind of set up 3 different companies. The consulting business stayed as is, but not doing anything federal. Today it's about 300 people and about 75 million in revenue, only focused in on the education and nonprofit business. I think she's referring to the Attain Capital part, which is why we're sitting up here. And then I have Attain Sports, where we own 4 baseball teams and a soccer team. Anybody live anywhere close to Loudoun? Because Loudoun United, a USL championship team, you should know, last weekend achieved the playoffs, first time in their history. So I'm so excited about that. Now coming to Attain Capital, why we did what we did. These gentlemen, they're financial sponsors. What we wanted to do was more of an operator-led type of business.
Each of you will get 10 seconds to answer these questions. Raj, biggest tech trend federal government still underestimates?
I would say it is in the area of quantum computing. The federal government is not even looking at it, but 5 to 7 years from now, there's, for those of you in cybersecurity, that's a trend that it's going to be an avalanche because all of the RSA and crypto keys and all that will be broken by quantum computers. But if you're trying to get into the market, now is the time to invest in it because the federal government is always a few years behind. But that is that is a trend that is going to very much on the horizon.
Wonderful, thank you. Anil, if you could redesign one part of the acquisition process tomorrow, what would that be? Redesign acquisition process or change one thing, what would that be?
So you mean redesign of federal acquisition? I think the acquisition is going in that direction, which is seeing the value which you can add, which is phase approach, seeing the pilot. I just talked about our largest win of IRS. That was win through that different process. We got that IRS as a pilot. The first IRS gave us $75,000 to deliver them. They give us, we need this, or we are giving you $75,000. They give us and the 5 other companies. Specific pilot from $75,000, from 5, they reduced it to 3 companies. They gave $500,000. Do that, and then they add up to around $4.5 million to do their delivery for 18 months. And from that, after that they compete. So from 75,000 to 500 to 3.5 million, finally we win the 660 million. That's the new acquisition in federal government.
Yes, wonderful. Sandesh, what advice would you give your 30-year-old self? Please don't say you're not 30 yet. We just recently attended your birthday.
So I didn't understand your question.
What advice would you give your 30-year-old self? This is purely business.
So knowing there was a movie called Back to the Future. So if you are saying that with the experience I have now of 20-25 years, if I was 30 years today, what advice? I would say that it took almost 15 years to grow the business. When I see various private equities, they go out there and they buy a bunch of farms, they package it together and they sell it to a third party. I think I would have done that. I think it's very interesting to buy complementary businesses and you can scale up very quickly. You can go from 10 million to 100 million within 2 years. It took me 15 years. So if I would have to do one thing, knowing what I know today, I would do acquisitions.
Wonderful.
Now they are telling 20% chance that AI is going to take over humanity. Simple. And it's going to increase, right? From 1% it became 10 to 20%. That is really scary. So when I was doing research, when I was talking to people, the biggest problem, especially in federal space, is trust, right? Warren Buffett famously said, if you want to do something, that has to be integrity first, intelligence next, and energy third. AI has intelligence, AI has energy, but it does not have integrity yet, especially in the federal space. So you need to create, for you to be successful in artificial intelligence projects and win revenue, you have to create an artificial integrity with your client, especially your federal client. Simple. If you don't do that, it's going to be a problem. People are really scared of it. They don't know what to do. So you have to create that artificial integrity. And I came with a set of framework for it. Couple of things I want to do is, one is you always have to create a co-intelligence model. Don't just go AI first, go human first, augmented by AI. Then change that to AI first, augmented by human beings. Especially in the federal space, that is going along with that. And also go for a society value model. Build a small framework to come with that. I will send it across to you. I don't know if this is the right one, but probably I will get input from some of you. But if you don't do artificial integrity first, this is to me the biggest bottleneck. One of, like somebody who sat here just before this, he was gracious enough to take us to one of his clients. It's a large defense division. They had 40 leaders sitting there, tech leaders sitting there. When we gave a demo of our platform, by the end of it, what they said is, it's scary because it's very Star Wars into it. So that's what they said. I was scared that these guys are like running Navy. I mean, that's what they're saying. What's the, because they did not have the integrity yet that yes, it can do the job, it can do the mission critical thing. So start with artificial integrity before getting into the technical.